All right, what did I miss?
Welcome to Totally Normal Gaming. We're totally normal people play a
There we go.
totally normal game of Dungeons and Dragons.
Yay. Okay, I'm back.
Thank you to this month's sponsor of our stream, Scrombulous Publishing.
Go
Look for
on.
their new tabletop RPG in which you take the role of sewer cleaners.
I mean, sure, yeah, I'll roll a character. Clean some fucking sewers. I mean, you know what kind of shit lives in the sewers, right?
It's really interesting. It's a D8 system. Like all you roll are D8s because everybody else has dibs on all the other kinds of dice. Um, Yeah, strong narrative arcs, and no combat. So it's got kind of a cozy sewer cleaning vibe.
Also, the
I'm into
universe
that.
doesn't have sewers.
Right. Yeah, the universe in which the game takes place.
Correct.
Yeah, there's no sewers there. Yep. Wait, so are you like sewer cleaners from another dimension that are teleported into this universe, or is sewer cleaners mean a different thing in this universe?
No, they wanted to get away from the whole multiverse thing. They thought that that's a little played out. So it all takes it like it when you set your game, it needs to take place within the canon world, and there is no other thing that you can do. And they're working really hard to map out and provide information and backstory for the entire planet of the sewer cleaners.
I like. I mean, Planet of the Sewer Cleaners isn't a terrible name for a band. It's a little long, a little wordy, but it's pretty good. Planet of the
And
Sewer Cleaners.
I think that the game is still a little bit in flux. They're deciding whether they're going to lean into the comparisons to the Super Mario Brothers or lean away from that.
Mm. All right. Let's see resident old lady slash Hannah stuff here because she has been putting up a lot of amazing, God, crochet, I think, right? This is crochet, not knitting. I'm such a heathen. Um, but like she makes these incredible flowers and it makes all sorts of amazing things, and I just can't get enough of it. Um, this piece was put up about a month ago, I think. And just look at how intricate each of these pieces are, and they're even like spiral woven in. That's wild. How did you do that? So she's in chat right now. I'm gonna lobby questions at her.
Is that all one? Like, is that several flowers tucked into a bouquet, or is that all crocheted together into one base?
Good question.
Something seems weird though, because Resident Old Lady said bingo, and we're not playing bingo. So I
No,
think they're gonna,
we're playing bingo. We just didn't invite you.
uh,
Yeah,
because I was late.
yeah.
Yep, I deserve that.
There is a little bit of a lag. Let's see. There's actually several flowers, she says.
Hmm. Still very beautiful. Well done.
Yeah, it's really great, right? And that one is actually my second favorite one because I actually like this one better. Look at that. How the fuck did you do that? That's incredible.
How long does it take to do that?
That's another great question. How long does it take to make one of these?
Come on, Resident Old Lady. Now you can do the Pablo Picasso and say however long it's been since you started learning to crochet.
Mhm.
Yeah, look, each one of these has a ton of detail. Like the shapes are great. Like these little things, right? The little pistils and stamens, right? God, how long ago was eighth grade biology class for me? A long time ago. Have you tried putting them outside to see if they'll attract pollinators? It's just fantastic. And I'm guessing that based on another photo I saw, each one of these has a little piece of plastic attached to the underside of it. Oh, by the way, stream, how is my vocal volume tonight? Pixel and Resident Old Lady, can you hear me okay? Because I changed headsets. I learned to crochet in 2020, and flowers take a long time. Wait, 2020? I don't feel
Yeah,
like that's true.
COVID.
Oh, was that COVID? Okay. Full disclosure, I had Hannah in my classes, and during my classes, Hannah would sometimes crochet. And at first, I was deeply insulted, but then I realized Hannah was actually paying attention because she would fire off answers when I asked questions.
What about me, Pixelfish? How's my clarity?
Oh no, my clarity is off. My clarity is not as good as my other headset.
Explosive.
Use simpler words.
Can hear good, friends?
Perfect.
The rose took a week to make. The rose, that's the other one. Hold on. A rose is a rose is a rose. And that's a fucking rose. Look at it. That took a week. That's pretty good, actually.
Wait,
That's
just the middle part or everything?
solid question.
I'm not. I don't know flowers.
Can hear much the yes. Um, I just think like I think about the time that each one of these things took to like weave in exactly right, because it had to have been done in order, right? You couldn't just like crochet one and stuff it in there probably. Like it had to all be done in the proper way, or it wouldn't have worked at the end, right? It would have just like fallen apart. Just the pink part took a week.
Yeah. Wow.
Well, they're amazing.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
Ain't nobody got time for that. Uh, Resident old lady, can we purchase your things online still, or did you take down your, was it Etsy or something? You used to have a thing where you sold things. It's still a thing. If it's still a thing, you should link it in the chat so people can go purchase your stuffs. Oh, there's glue and rubber bands in there. I see. Well, never mind. It's not impressive then. Um, yeah, you should link your information if we can get it. Also, resident old lady made an amazing handbag for my daughter, and I was glad to pay. It was only $6,000. It's very expensive Italian crochet.
Did your
No,
daughter lose it already?
no, actually, she loves it. She takes it with her everywhere. It's
Yeah.
beautifully crochet.
Did she bring it home last time she was here? Didn't I see it?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, it's very cool.
yeah. It's awesome. Well, that's okay. She says that she still has an Etsy, but it's sparse because she's been adulting. But that's okay. You should post it anyway. You never know. People really like impressive crocheted things, and these are impressive. Um, and also, you know, here's actually a question. I'm not sure if anyone knows the answer to this, but can you crochet with anything, any kind of material, or is there only specific yarn that you can use to crochet with? Right? Could you crochet with like a a giant fucking rope? Right? Like, does the size of the thing matter?
This is a real slippery slope to an I've got nipples, Fokker. Can you milk me situation?
Oh my God! Wait, Geldis, what are you drinking out of?
A 3D printed
Wow.
can cozy.
That's amazing. Does it fit like really snugly in there so it doesn't fall out when you drink out of it?
Yes, I could turn it upside down and all my beer would come out and the can would stay there.
It's amazing.
That's the way you want it to work.
The question was, can you crochet with almost any material, or does it have to be a specific type of yarn? Oh, there's the Etsy. There we go. Yay. And Pixelfish says that they've woven with some very strange materials. Yeah, like I'm wondering, can
There's
you
some
like go ahead?
I was just gonna say there's some good stuff on here.
On that Etsy, yeah, right. She's
Yeah.
amazing. She's very modest. All of the artists in my channel are very modest. But that's why I like to do these features. I mean, look at that. It's fantastic. It's incredible. We should be proud.
Average item review rating is 5 stars. That's pretty good.
Out of 5?
Out of 5.
Okay,
Out of
there we go.
5.
Yeah, there it is.
Yep. Worth clarifying.
All right. Thank you, resident old lady. We really appreciate your work, and we're glad that
Keep
you.
going.
Yeah. Don't stop, even when you're adulting. And
You should
I
crochet an entire car.
see. That's why I was asking, like, what you can use to like crochet with, right? Like, can you use bigger materials, right? Can you crochet with like a rope? Sometimes I wonder what my life would have looked like if my sea glass jewelry Etsy took off. Hey man, don't Pixelfish, why don't you feature some of your art so that we can feature it on the stream and then we can go to your Etsy? I'd love to see it. Oh, she's seen people use all sorts of things. All right, well, good. Well, hopefully not everything. I don't want to think about the possibilities of some of the things you could crochet with. You have seen rope use. Oh, she's seen rope use. See, now we're getting to some interesting stuff. Okay. Thank you, Hannah. The Etsy's up. Everyone should click the link and check out the stuff because it's really cool. And for now, that is all. Does anybody want to do a recap of the really important stuff that happened last week? Hmm?
We didn't figure it out.
No, we failed.
We didn't figure what out.
Anything.
We've done it.
No. We worked on finding those 2 lost people and Padro, the security person.
I think we've officially chosen a side in the
It does look like we've chosen a side.
local conflict.
What side is
Yeah,
that?
so status quo.
Yeah, I'm sure it's the wrong side based on our
Yeah.
past
Yeah,
decisions.
yeah. Anytime it looks like we're doing things correctly, it's got to be the wrong choice. Yeah, so we went to the Barking Kitty, which is the place that they had been employed. We met with Trant Rotus, who told us about the 2 individuals who went missing, Gaius and Flavia. They had Padro, the security person, with them. Trant sent us to the doorman, whose name I'm not going to have. And the doorman is an incredible artist and sketched us pictures of what Gigan, Flavia, and no, not Trant, and Gaius looked like, and said, "Hey, you should go talk to the kids over at that kids estate." We did that. The kids were wonderful. We paid them some gold, and they gave us lots of information. They told us that they had seen them get ambushed down an alleyway, and there was, some sort of gas bomb went off, and Padro fought valiantly but was knocked out.
And the kids,
And
the
the other
children
2,
that you were interacting with, they extorted you, correct?
I I was happy to give them the money.
We both came away happy, right? So I don't think that's considered extortion.
No, they were great. You guys are good with the kids.
Thanks.
All right,
Um,
so Padro fought valiantly but went down.
yep, we
The
went to the
2
alleyway.
did some investigations, and you found what?
Padro,
A mostly dead Padra.
mostly dead.
He was only mostly dead. So you took him,
Plays.
Play.
so you took him to a miracle worker, is that correct?
Yeah, yep, yeah.
Yeah, named Owen.
Yeah.
Yep. Healed him up. And did some investigating of the area. I think we might have asked some questions of the dead body because he was stuffed into a sewer grate with a dead with one of the guys that he had killed.
Speak with Dead is always a good time in this game. Always. I'm considering giving you a free Speak with Dead slot just because I have so much fun with it.
It works well in BG3 to do that.
You took the bodies back to
Yep.
the Barking
Trant.
Kitty. And you revived Padro, who told you that there was someone named Gadris, right, that was doing the stuff. And you sort of tracked this down to a party being thrown by, you guys remember?
Manius.
Manius, who is whose son?
Numerius's
yeah.
youngest.
Numerius's only son, but not the heir, because why? Do you
Still
remember?
technically correct. Is the youngest son.
Because he's a party animal.
Yes, because he is not fit to rule after him. So that's why his heir instead is Agrippina. And Manius is throwing a big party. And Manius is going, like, why were the bodies sent to Manius in a keg?
So that they could get discovered and he could be framed.
Yes. Framed for the murder of 2 sex workers in a very law and order city. That would be bad. Be bad, bad,
Yep.
bad. All right, good. Yep.
So we very easily got into the party, found the 2 barrels, picked them up, dragged them out of there, and brought them back to Trant. And Trant tells us that we need to infiltrate the party, make sure Gigan doesn't kill anyone else, find out who he works for, and capture him alive.
I thought that was Agrippina that told you that. Oh, not Agrippina.
Ophelia?
Ophelia.
I thought it was Trant, but I didn't think that we went all the way back to Ophelia. Maybe we did.
I thought Trant discussed it with Ophelia and then came back and said.
All right, that's what it
That
is.
might have been it.
Yeah. Right, because in my notes I have that the message comes from Ophelia, but it might have gone through Trant, correct?
Yeah. I like that.
So I think where we left off, the plan was for you all to go back to the party in order to what? This is kind of crucial. Why were you asked to go back?
Just told you.
Did
Did I
you?
tell you again?
Yeah, tell me again.
All right. We need to go to the party, make sure Gigan doesn't kill anyone else, find out who he works for, and capture him alive.
Okay. Okay, good. That's pretty good. Yeah.
I
All
don't
right.
think I took that note, so if it's not all encompassing, I
Would like to blame someone else?
refuse to take responsibility.
I don't want you to vote. I just want you to know I dislike you as a person.
That was a pretty good quote. No Dirk tonight, and I don't know if we'll have an Owen either. So this is probably us. Hopefully Jenna gets to join us soon here. I'm sure she's dealing with children. Yes, so we can pick up. You're still at the Barking Kitty. You have some time before the party begins proper, but not much, maybe an hour. So if you want to prep for this party, like you got to sort of decide how you want to go. Ophelia can pull some strings to get you on the guest list, or you could try to disguise yourself as some sort of workers, right? Some sort of service industry people in some way. Also, it's been offered from the house that you can pretend to be sex workers and get in that way. But you guys have to decide that, not me. You're right now in the Barking Kitty in Trant's office. Right.
Why don't we have her get us on the list? That seems to make sense.
So if
Yeah.
if you
Bill
want to go
really
as
wants us
guests,
to be sex workers. I feel like this has come up 2 or 3 times now in the last 2 sessions that we can masquerade as sex workers.
you're literally dealing with a sex work ring. So yeah, no, I'm not interested in you actually being sex workers. Well, one of the PCCs wants Owen to be a sex worker. Okay, anyway, we're getting off track here. Trant, if you're gonna go as guests, you're gonna have to dress up. You can't go and he sort of like hand gestures at you all. That's no.
I'm always
I,
wearing formal wear, so what's
I,
wrong
I,
with this?
I thought at the end of the last session we said that Ophelia would send a tailor over if we needed her to.
For sure.
Somebody, yeah.
Is that what you'd like? We don't even need to go to Ophelia. I have a ton of clothes here. Might be a little challenging to find something that fits Ezra, but rest of you should be okay.
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
Yeah, that works.
Okay. One of the things that I would like you to record in your inventory will be formal party wear, so that you can keep this clothing after you leave. Does anyone have any sort of like specific designs they would like of things that they want to wear to this party? Oftentimes, like a lot of the things that he has are like what you would consider to be tuxedo-ish. And then there's like formal gowns. And then that's like the conservative end. And then, as you might imagine, the stuff he has on the more liberal end, let's say, can get pretty revealing. So, sort of pick your poison here. How would you like to appear when you go to this party?
So it's at this point it's nearing the end of September, right? Or is it early September? Early
Early.
September? Okay. I think Ezra will want to wear something seasonal, so something that kind of has those early autumnal colors. So maybe a vest that's like an ochre color with matching tie, and then a black slacks, black suit jacket, but sewn in a way that they kind of sheen orange when the light hits them in a certain from a certain angle. Um, yeah,
Wow.
that sounds pretty good.
All right. Very good. You're actually going to be the hardest one to do, so they're going to spend the most time getting Ezra fitted here. They don't have a lot of children's-sized clothing. About the rest of you, how would you like to
Tra-
appear going to this party?
Are we bringing our weapons with us, Trant?
If you can get them in, I don't know what their security is going to be like, but typically speaking, people don't bring a lot of heavy weaponry to a party. So if you do bring stuff, I'd try to make sure it's discreet.
I
Or
kind of hug my axe. What do you mean, discreet?
he looks at it for a second. You could put that in like a lute case or a harp case and pretend to be a musician.
Okay. I would like to wear something that gives me lots of free range of movement. So, no shirt is fine with me.
No, that's no. How about a shirt and a vest rather than a jacket?
How about just a vest?
Okay. Listen, Zerwin, this is not that kind of party.
I thought
Uh,
you said we could be more revealing.
all right. Okay, fine. That's not what I meant, but just put the vest on. Let's see how it looks. You put the vest on. Does Zerwin have any tattoos?
Nope.
He's like, all right, we're gonna have to give you some tattoos.
Okay. But I do pass out if I see a needle.
They'll be fake tattoos. You can say that you are an artist. The purple hair sort of goes a little ways to help this out, and that'll also let you carry a case of some sort.
Cool.
So the tailors are working on Ezra, and he leans outside this office door and says, "Go get Case." And then a person comes in of like you can't tell how old this person is or like what gender this person is. They are like probably 30 or 40, but maybe 50 and could be 20 depending on the day. And they're sort of like thin and on the wiry side. And they walk in and look at you, Zerwin, and say, "Is this him?" And Trent says, "Yeah, that's him." And they go, "Okay." And they pull out this like artistry kit that has all these dies in it. And they tell you to take your vest off and hold your arms out at your side. And
Okay.
then they start drawing on you
Where?
everywhere except for your private parts.
Well, I'm ticklish, so I'm giggling the whole time.
Gelidus, Jana, anything you'd like to wear in particular?
I would like to wear a fancy dress that gives me full freedom of movement and has a fancy little hat with a veil.
Okay. Hat with a veil is pretty easy. Fancy dress with full movement's a little harder, but they'll work on something. Maybe something that is very loose, like from the bust down, and little like tighter fitting up top, so you can have more motion.
Okay.
Gelidus?
Could I use the hat?
Yes, you can.
I'll use the hat.
All right, give me a roll.
Hey,
Can I borrow that back?
if I need it, I'm taking it off your head.
That's okay.
Okay, you can have it back then. But if I need it, I'm taking it off your head.
As soon as I see what Jan is wearing, I go, "Actually, guys, I'd rather wear that," and point to her.
No.
For
Is it
No.
too late?
Yes, it's too late.
for shirts, do you guys have anything in a nice gingham pattern?
A what? Trent says.
Gingham, like a picnic cloth, like cross.
I don't know.
No?
Gingham's gonna look weird with a tuxedo.
Well, I mean, I'm gonna be wearing a jacket. It'll just be a little bit seen up near the tie, next to the vest. You don't think that'll look nice? All right. Maybe I will look like a scarecrow with that. All right. But like a little scarecrow. How come they never have little like you never see like scarecrow families? Only like the big scarecrows out in the fields.
All right, Gelidus, give me your roll.
I just roll a d20 or a d10?
D10.
Four.
Okay, well that works. Gelidus puts the hat on, and suddenly a very expensive suit appears. Very nice shoes, and the hat itself sort of transforms into something similar to a top hat. You have turned into a fancy banker. You've got coattails and creased slacks, and a cane.
Wow, I have a cane, guys.
Your your pendant says, "What the fuck kind of sorcery is this?"
The good kind.
Everything looks different, kinda. There's some sort of haze around you right now.
I made it so that I look differently. It's pretty amazing.
Yeah. All right, kid. Now keep your eyes open. Remember, what are we looking for?
I thought you liked the turtle.
What? No, we're still looking for other things.
Oh, yeah. I'll be on the lookout.
All right. All right. Jana, the dress they work out for you is a green, like a sort of a brightish green, actually. But it's nice. It's a nice material. They have tons of dresses. It's just about fitting it to you, which they managed to do. The problem is the shoes that go with the dress. they're heels. So they're not exactly athletic shoes, if you know what I mean. But the hat's nice and the dress is nice, and you have good movement and free range with it. Okay, everybody good?
What do my tattoos look like?
Right. So your tattoos are varied and detailed and really incredible. There is a giant sun across your back with like each one of the flames things that comes off the sun has in it these tiny little people that are like doing these like crazy shapes with their bodies. Your left bicep has this like ship that's sailing across the sea, and your right bicep has this mountain that is like has these clouds and like a moon hanging over it. There's just it takes an entire hour to do all these things, and there's a bunch of them, yeah. And they're also different colors. Like this person does an incredible job with an hour's worth of work. They say this will last for a couple of days, supposing you don't rub liquid on yourself. So I don't
Rub or get liquid?
like some liquid will be okay, but like, you know, if you take a swim, people are gonna notice.
What about butter?
Butter should be what?
There's water in butter.
But I guess butter would be okay.
Ezra casts prestidigitation on Zerwin's tattoos, so they all like move and dance and glow.
They do look pretty cool. Zerwin looks pretty cool. Trant gives you a modified harp case that can fit your battle axe.
Nice.
Jana, where are you gonna
Can I
put your
stick
bow?
a sword in there? Yeah, can I stick my bow in there with your axe, Serwin?
You'll
Is
have
that a
to.
euphemism?
I want you to use
What?
that as a threat sometime. Like if we're really having a hard conversation with someone, you just walk in and be like, "Hey, can I stick a sword in there?" and like point at their abdomen.
Sure, if there's room.
So you can probably put the sword in there, but the bow's not gonna fit.
Okay. I'll put a sword in. Well,
Is there?
actually, does Owen want to bring his sword in there instead then?
Well, hold on. What about because you're not actually carrying a cane, right, Gillis? You just look like you have a cane.
The cane appears as part of the costume.
Is it like real? I'm saying, could he hold a sword and it would look like a cane because of the hat, or does an actual cane like?
No, but he can just drop the cane and it will disappear, and then he can carry a sword cane. They have those. Those are things.
Yeah, I don't think we've got time to find one of those. But yeah, we can stick a sword in the case, and then I'll do my best to make it so it's not rattling around.
I'm not our best sword fighter, so if carrying someone's sword, it should probably be Owen's. I'm going to strap daggers to. So I'm wearing an Empire waist dress.
Wait, what
How
kind of
long are short swords?
How long you need them to be?
Yeah.
They're about as long as my arm.
That's not very long. Can I stick it down the front of my dress?
That sounds dangerous.
You can
I'll stick it in the sheath.
Okay.
Well, I'm thinking, what how big is your bow when it's not strung?
It's just a stick then.
So
That's what I'm saying, could we use that as like a cane substitute and just carry some string? How quickly can you string a bow?
1 round.
Probably take about 6 seconds.
Yeah, 1 round. 6 seconds. Yeah, 8 seconds.
Yeah. Jana, what's the difference between a sheath and a scabbard? Well, I've always wondered.
Scabbards are bigger.
I don't think you can fit the
like a
short
long
sword. I don't
or
think
a
you can fit the
great
short
sword?
I
sword in
can't
your.
stick a short sword down my shirt.
I don't think so.
All right.
You can definitely carry daggers. And here's another like, as you're having this conversation, Trant says, you can unstring the bow and you can fit it in another instrument case or another art case.
Okay. Let's do that, and I am definitely strapping multiple daggers to my person in places where I am unlikely to be searched.
Okay.
You never come to my bar, have you?
Anybody else want to bring? Anybody else? Would anyone else like to accessorize this evening?
Can I get like a nice little scarf, and then I can put the pendant on the scarf to make it look like whatever the fancy thing's called?
Sure.
Nice patterned pocket square.
Very good.
I was
Done.
I was gonna ask for a cave toad tattoo, but it's probably too late.
Yeah. Too late.
It's not too late, but they do have to put it on your face.
Don't tempt him with a good time. All right.
Okay.
So Dirk is going to be dressed as the manservant to Gelidus's
Banker.
Fancy banker.
Yep. And Owen is going to be the security to Ezra's nobleman.
Does that mean he
So-
can carry some modified weapons?
Yeah, so he'll probably be able to bring his sword in.
But not a shield. The shield's impressive looking though.
Yeah, no, definitely not the shield. He'll still have to wear like nice clothes.
Right.
Trant, earlier you insulted my style of dress, but is my jewelry all right, or do you need to give me free jewelry to accessorize to?
What jewelry?
I wear rings, an amulet. Actually, I think I wear 2 amulets at this point.
Yeah, it's great.
You know, I thought we were starting to get along, but I'm gonna remember this.
You look great, Ezra.
You
Really,
feel
you do.
great.
Trent, what kind of security are we going to be looking at?
Probably fairly lax.
And is it going to be a private Manius security, or
Yeah.
is it going to be city guard?
No, the city guard will be around, but they won't be in the estate. So it'll be Manius's private security.
And what are the rules around fighting?
Don't do it.
Like not even like bare knuckle boxing?
Not even bare knuckle boxing.
I don't think it's that kind of party.
No, this kind of party is going to be a lot of drinking and other drugs.
And that does not lead to fights.
Not here, no. It's going to lead to a lot of sex, probably, and a lot of passed out. This is more of an orgy type of party than a fighting type of party.
I'm good at those two things too, I guess.
You put the vest on, and it does sort of go together now. You do sort of look like a weird artist. All right, listen up. Here's what you're going to need to know. Manius's best friend is the party coordinator. He plans all the parties. His name is Placus. Placus will be there somewhere. Manius will be there, as will Babia and Agrippina. If I know the sisters, I would say that probably Agrippina will find an excuse to leave early. Babia will probably hang out, but she'll also probably be sober, or relatively sober. There will be, early on, there will be some sort of entertainment. I don't know what kind, but there's always something surprising or interesting happening there. Gigan will be there, as you have discovered. Obviously, Manius will be there. And also the delegation from the Moon Isles will be there. I don't know who else will be there. Did you by any chance last time meet an officious-looking older gentleman?
I think we did, yes.
That's the butler. He's the head of the grounds. His name is Falio. He'll be the one actually making responsible decisions for the evening. So I don't know. Avoid him as best you can. And last but not least, you should take a second and work out if you're going to use any aliases or not. Especially Geldis, because you look totally different. Yeah, Geldis, you don't really look like yourself anymore. You're sort of a heavy-set, pale-skinned, middle-aged gentleman.
Oh wow, I didn't even notice that. How come you guys didn't tell me?
You didn't look in a mirror while you were getting dressed, or I guess you were just automatically dressed as a fancy banker.
Yeah, I didn't have to.
Oh,
I'm just now realizing that person is Galadis.
I'm definitely using an alias, guys. Please do not, under any circumstances, refer to me as Jana. Okay?
What's your alias?
I don't care. Greta? What was your name for me, Ezra?
Idhalvi Haldivi.
No,
No,
that's too hard to say. Greta.
Idhalvi, what?
Idhalvi Haldivi.
Idhalvi Haldivi is a thing that no one is ever going to say, probably.
I've said it twice tonight,
it's got you there.
and at least once each of the last few weeks.
uh,
I had a blast coming up with these aliases. But now I don't have one for Geladis because he's a whole other guy. Yeah, I'll go back to using I should I use Methuselah Long Pasture, or you guys can call me Sala, or do you want me to use one of my other ones that I have? I have a whole catalog.
I'd like you to use the most complex and confusing one, please.
That's probably Methuselah Long Pasture.
I mean, I'm definitely going to call you by your real name. So
Yeah, I know. I'm mentally preparing for that to happen.
All right, so far we have Greta and Methuselah. Anyone else? Zerwin, you gonna go by Zerwin?
just shorten it. Call me Z.
Very good. Resident Old Lady suggests that someone needs to go buy butter before you go to this. I'm gonna guess they have butter there. It's a party.
Geladis, what's
Let me
your
tell you something. I'm
father's
going
name?
home. Something.
Sir Butter. It's not bad.
My alias will be Robert Banks.
Robert Banks.
Bobby Banks.
Rob Banks.
Oh, I didn't even think of that. That's a good one, Zerwin.
Okay. Are we all set? It's been an hour since we've started this session, and I think we're almost ready to go to the actual party. Is that true?
I could do this. I could do this for another hour.
Would you like? I mean, you could hang out here. Your hour's just about up.
Oh,
All
let's
right.
go to the party.
Ophelia has arranged for a coach to pick you up and drop you off. It's it's not like a Cinderella style coach. It's more like a it's more like a giant sort of box on wheels. The wheels are very oversized and large, and you can't see inside from the outside. There are windows, but those windows have like the like woven cross patterning over it, so you can sort of see out. It's a little hazy. You can see out, but you can't see in. And it's like the whole thing is like studded with iron. On the inside, it's quite nice. It's like black leather cushions. But there's some security to this thing. Sir Butter, heir to the butter fortune. That's not bad. All right. You pull up to the party, and there's a little bit of a wait as there's a couple coaches that have arrived in front of you, which gives you sort of an opportunity to see who's getting out of these things. And, rich people, but young rich people. You haven't seen anyone over the age of 30 get out of any of these things. A lot of beautiful well dressed, very made up. Um, and then they're hangers on. They're either servants or they're entourage. And the the carriage directly in front of you, as it gets out, you see that there is this young woman, probably in her mid-20s, with this like really long flowing dress that like sort of drags behind her, and then she has like four ladies and waiting attendants, who are like following around, and they're all like gossiping and like going back and forth, and all of them are definitely well dressed. And when they see your sort of carriage pull up, there's a little bit of a face from her, like she might recognize this carriage from somewhere. Um, as you pull up and get out, you're greeted by coachmen and footmen. Um, who wants to get out first?
I assume Owen
Sala.
would. Do we have
Or
a
yeah, I
name
guess
for
yeah.
Owen? It would be security.
Yeah, we
Uh,
should send Owen or Dirk, since Dirk's a footman.
Owen and Dirk get out, and they, you hear their conversation. They're saying that this is um, the party of representatives from uh, various foreign nations. There's a banker, there is an artist, there is a foreign nobleman, and there is his lady friend. Um, and then we're the security, and there's some general. I'm not gonna. They're not here, so it goes back and forth for a few minutes. But they, you guys are on this party is on the list. So after a minute or two, they say, "All right, come on in." Um, you get out. The gates are open. Inside, you sort of have to walk up this crushed gravel that's a slight incline to the main house. You've already been here, so you know what it looks like. But earlier in the day, now as it's getting evening time, there's people walking around. There's people exploring the grounds, so to speak. Um, there's people with like parasols, and there's uh, there's like entertainment everywhere. First of all, there's a lot of servants running around with trays with various food items on them, and they're just offering them to whoever. There's people walking around with trays with long-stemmed, fancy glasses of different types of wine. Um, and then there's like a random fire breather is walking around, like, and you could see Geldis. Dirk wants to immediately when Dirk sees that, he's like, "That's bullshit. I can do that way better." Um, but you manage to restrain him. There are like acrobats and contortionists just sort of walking around, and then all of a sudden they like do something fucking crazy and wild, and everyone's like, "Ooh, ah," right? There's like a random sword swallower that comes out, right? And then like um there's a juggler that appears. As you sort of walk through, it's kind of this crazy circus, and you can't get very far without people trying to foist off various drinks onto you. Does anybody want to take anything?
Greta, do you want to ask that sword swallower if you can put a sword in there?
I'm obviously grabbing a drink.
Quote it.
Thanks, real helpful.
Zero,
Yeah,
what are you going to take?
I'll take a drink.
What are
So
the first one?
that glass of red. Ezra?
Well, I would like to peruse the options, what's available to me.
So there's two different red wines, there's two different white wines, and then there is a sort of bluish substance, and then there is a slightly smoking, opaque, greenish substance.
Okay, I'll take whichever of the whites is a little bit softer, more light-bodied.
I would recommend this one, sir, the
Thank you.
woman says. Anyone else?
Sure, I'll take some wine or something like that.
Very good, sir. And for the lady?
I'll have a glass of red.
Excellent. They do not ask Dirk or Owen if they want anything to drink. In fact, no
Yeah, they're
one
working.
even, yeah, well, no one even like acknowledges their existence, right? Like when people, pass by you, they nod, especially to Geldis and Ezra. Um, they sort of like
How
nod.
convenient that they're going to be ignored since they're not present,
Yeah,
or the players aren't present.
I mean,
Sorry,
this
not
ain't
to
my first rodeo, Duncan.
not to stampede through the fourth wall or anything.
Um, as you're sort of making your way towards the main house, like right outside the main house, um, this this woman walks up to you and she walks directly over to Zerwin and says, "Stanley, is that you? That's you, isn't it?" And she walks over to you and like puts her arm around you. She's like taller. She's a human, so she's taller than you. "I haven't seen you in ages. How have you been?"
Oh, strikes and gutters.
So, what? That's the sort of artist restaurants. I know it. Herman, come meet Stanley. He's an incredible artist. Stanley, tell Herman. This is Herman. Her like husband, boyfriend. You're not really sure. He's a few years older and he looks fucking miserable. She's clearly drunk. She's like, "Stanley, tell Herman about that installation you did. The big one that moved at that castle up on the water. You remember? You remember. Herman, it was amazing. It was this giant stone that looked like it was rotating on top of this pole. Tell him, Stanley."
Okay, I will tell him. I will make up a story about this thing. You want a performance or a
Yeah, no, you better give me performance.
deception? I guess it doesn't matter. It's gonna be the same. I rolled a 6.
Yeah,
Pretty good.
as you're telling, she's like, "What? No, that's not how it was at all. Stanley, are you drunk?"
That's none of your business.
Hmm.
Wink, wink. I wink at her.
Yes, well, anyway, Herman, I've seen Stanley just do the most incredible things with his hands. um, and then she like leans over and whispers in your ear, "Come find me later. We'll do some more of that wonderful hands-on painting you were talking about last time."
I drink my entire cup of red.
And then she turns and walks past you, but as she does, she smacks your ass. And then she moves on.
Guys, this is a great party.
Can we survey the party and see if we see Geegan?
Yeah, so you walk into the main house. Um,
Did
the
we? Sorry, do we know what he looks like from what's his name's drawing?
Yeah,
two.
Geegan was one of the three on the sketch,
Right,
so we
that's
still
right.
have that too.
Well,
Gotcha.
So we'll
remember
walk
his.
around holding it up.
Do you remember what the sketch looked like though?
Uh,
It was focusing on one of them, right? No, I can't remember.
Geegan's face was partially obscured because he was wearing.
Mask.
Yeah, he was wearing a face covering, but it was a hat, but it like came over his brim, so you could. It's like a half. You know, you have like the lower part of his face. Um, where was I? Oh, right.
Well,
So, go ahead.
we also got the description that he's tall and thin, right?
Correct.
and we know he works for one of the suppliers, right? Like a warehouse.
He works for the winery.
All these things are
I
true.
thought, yeah, I thought we dug into this a little last week, and he worked for one of the suppliers who works with the winery.
He runs the shipping for the winery.
Yeah, okay.
That's correct. Inside the party proper, they've actually removed one of the walls inside the main house. So there's a massive open room when you first walk in that goes up all 3 stories. And you can see all the way to the roof where there is a big glass dome on one part of the roof. So you can see the sky as the sun starts to set in the west. There are probably 100 people inside and probably another 100 people outside-ish. That's just guests. That's not counting all of the people who are working right now. In the middle of the main room has a ring that's been marked off. And currently in the ring, there is mud wrestling happening. Right now, it is 2 very, very shapely and well-muscled young men who are really trying to not hurt each other at all, but probably just like shove each other around and like sling mud all over the place. And then there's like these little walls so that people can like watch, like little like tarp walls so that people can watch without getting all muddy. There's also above the mud pit, there is a hanging platform on which there is a band playing. And they're kind of playing party music. And that platform is very slowly rotating as it hangs from these chains. The whole thing is like really strange and kind of precarious. And in the far back of the room, all the way in the back, there is a giant red crushed velvet half circle couch. In the middle of this couch is a young man who must be Manius. He is the center of attention. He has half a dozen beautiful young women around him, and then his own little group of hangers-on. Hey Zem, thanks for stopping by. And yeah, sorry, there's people talking in chat. Hi Snake Eyes, thanks for stopping by. And then the crowd is sort of mingling around. It's kind of early stages of the party. So right now you can definitely see Manius, and then you can sort of walk around if you'd like. The only person who maybe is even tall enough to see over people's heads is Owen a little bit. But, you know, it's a thick crowd when you count all the servants and entertainers and things. You can't just see everyone. The only reason you can see Manius is because his couch is up on like a dais, like an elevated circle. He is reveling and being the center of attention right now. You can tell from all the way across the room.
Do we have a description for Placus?
You
We've met him, right?
So no, you met
Oh, no,
Thalio.
no.
Yeah.
Thalio, right.
You do not have a description for Placus, no.
Okay, but we know that he's a friend of Manius.
Yes.
Who are the people that are like sticking close to Manius?
Can't really tell from where you are. Several attractive young women wearing tight clothes. A couple of other men. One of the 2 men mud wrestling slips and falls right on his back, and there's a collective like gasp from the crowd as he's defeated by his opponent. And then there's like a round of a smattering of applause. And then the bottom sinks out of the mud pit and like lowers into another space. And then like a couple minutes later, it rises back up with 2 scantily dressed young women who now begin their mud wrestling match.
Oh my goodness. Gelatus, I would kick the shit out of all 4 of them at once.
Stanley, you
Yes, you would.
cannot go in there.
Why?
Oh yeah, your tattoos will come right off.
Yeah, Ezra glances at all of his tattoos.
You didn't say anything about
Ominously.
mud.
How do you get mud, Zerwin?
Fine.
What do you mix with dirt to get mud?
I don't know. You find it outside.
Quote it. It's a great
Fine.
answer.
Fine.
So we found the 2 people we're looking for, right?
One of them.
Now that I'm mad, I grab one of the green smoky things.
Hmm.
You
Okay.
gotta tell me what that tastes like.
It tastes a little bit like licorice and a little bit like poison.
I'm immune to poison.
I know.
It tastes kind of like ouzo.
Sounds like maybe it has a certain absinthe quality about it.
Oh yeah, it's wormwood.
It's always good when Zerwin's hallucinating.
It's so frequent too. Zerwin's like, ooh, mysterious substance. I will put that in my lowest face hole immediately. That's kind of your MO.
So for the guy that we found, do we need to keep an eye on him? Are we worried that he's going to walk away? Like, what are we trying to do here?
At this point, I think we're trying to make sure nothing bad happens to him. Because, if I recall, Apocrypha, who we do need her help, is fond of him.
Agrippina.
I'm going to call her Apocrypha. Agrippina, right, is very close with her little delinquent brother. The other sister is not very much like him. Is that right? Do I have those relationships backwards or correct?
That's good. Yeah, right, Guthrie?
Hey, Jana, if I gave you one of
That's
the
Bayorn.
figures,
Say,
could you put one of the
Okay.
figures like planted on the
Okay.
person, and then I can find him if he's near it. Well, kind of near us. If I can cast a spell to find him.
Maybe.
It also doesn't seem
Who?
like he's going to be a guy who's hard to find.
Manius?
Yeah.
Yeah, he seems like he's
well, we
pretty
found it.
happy.
Can't be that hard to find. We found it. The other ones
What,
we haven't
what if
found.
he? But what if he leaves the room with somebody? I mean, Zervin
Well,
does it all the time too.
We could probably just ask somebody where he went. He seems like a guy who's not going to turn down any sort of attention.
Okay.
There is a small crowd gathering on the side. There seems to be a magician who just showed up who's performing some magic tricks. There's also someone who has lit several torches on fire and is now juggling them.
Ezra's going to stop one of the people busting drinks or bringing drinks around and ask, "Can you tell me, are all of the wines here from the Twisted Vine?"
She like looks panicked. Yes. Unless you want one from someplace else, in which case I can get you one of those.
No, I'm just trying to ascertain the source for these particular. I just want to make sure that I get it right. It does not matter to me
Oh no,
as long as I know where they are.
that
Yeah,
one definitely comes from the Twisted Vine. Yes, sir.
the one that I have.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. You're what? Would you like another one? I see you're
I
half full.
would. I would. So I'll take that one and just pour it into my first and go from there.
I'm enthralled by the magician.
Yeah, Ezra is kind of glaring at the magician, thinking to himself, "Boy, I could do better than that. He's getting so much attention. That attention could be my attention."
Do you guys wander over to the magician semicircles formed around him?
Sure.
Just wondering, is the Moonshade delegation visible?
Oh yeah, they're here too, aren't they?
You can't. You don't know.
Okay, I don't see him yet.
No husband murder tonight, all right?
Well, you don't really know what they
I
look
know.
like, do
I'm
you?
not letting you have any fun. I'm really sorry.
I think Jana would know what one of them looks like.
One of them. Is that what you were asking me? Are you looking for your ex?
Yeah.
You don't see him.
Okay.
You step around to the magician circle. He has just pulled a bird from his hat that has flown away, and now he has made some flame in his hand, and he closes his hand, disappears, and he opens it again and like makes this like spreading flame in the sky, and then draws a circle with it, and the crowd like gasps and steps back. And then as he does this with one hand, with the other hand he brings up a little ice, and like plays the two off each other back and forth. It's like, a series of cantrips basically, Ezra, that he's using. He makes some dancing lights at one point, and then he walks out comes off his little stage. He walks out into the crowd, and he like reaches out behind this, um, woman's like ear, and like, you know, summons forth this like long, um, like snake, then pulls it out of nowhere, and then, drops the snake. And there's like everyone screams like, "Ah, it's a snake!" And then he like stomps on it, and it just turns into like a bunch of insects, and like, it's just illusion, right?
Upgrade. Yeah, people are not going to be upset about a bunch of crawling insects.
Yeah. And then, there's like a screaming and everything, and then he shoots fire down them, and they all disappear. Um, and then he asks for a volunteer. I need a volunteer from the crowd. Anyone, please step up this way. You, sir. Yes, perfect. You, sir. Come right this way. He invites you to stand up on stage with him.
Put my case down. Go up there, or I hand it to Dirk.
Ladies and gentlemen, what's your name, good sir?
People call me Z.
Z. Yes, Z. And what do you do, Z?
L. Artist.
An artist. The crowd. Ooh, an artist. Yes, like artists are a rare species of worth admiring. Z, the artist, ladies and gentlemen. Z, have we ever met before in our entire lives?
No.
No, we have not. And have you ever seen me before?
I saw you. I was standing right down there watching you do some tricks.
Yes. And he saw me just a few minutes ago. He's very observant, ladies and gentlemen. There's a small bit of laughter from the crowd. But before tonight, have you ever seen me before?
No.
No. Do you have any reason to believe that I would know anything about you at all?
No.
No. There it is, ladies and gentlemen. I have never met Z the artist before, and he has never met me. I've never seen him before. I have no idea who he is, and yet I am going tonight to read his mind. And there's a lot of like, gasps and oohs and ahs. And he puts his hand to his head and says, Z, I'd like you to think of a number. Any number.
Okay.
All right, he's stealing secrets from you. What is the number you're thinking of?
2. It's as high as I can count.
It's coming. It's 400. No. 7,000. No. The number is 2. Is the number 2?
Holy shit.
That's he holds up his hand. Everyone claps. Z, I want you to close your eyes for a minute. Could you close your eyes for me?
Sure.
I want you
I
to
actually have to
picture.
close my eyes.
Yeah. I want you to. Well, not right now. You don't have to. Whatever. Do it. So I want you to imagine. I want you to envision your home, where you grew up, the place you grew up, and your parents maybe, or brothers and sisters, or good friends, or maybe you had a pet. You had a pet, didn't you? You did. You had a pet. Yes. Here, open your eyes. He pulls out a piece of paper and a pencil and says, without showing me, I want you to write down what kind of pet you had and its name.
Okay.
And he's going to
I
steal
write down Cave Toad and Matilda.
He's turned away. And have you got it?
Yep.
Okay, hold it up to make sure everyone can see it. And put it down. Ladies and gentlemen, our friend Z did have a pet. But it wasn't any ordinary pet. It was a cave toad named Matilda. And there is just like, everyone's like, oh, no way. Like, how could he possibly have guessed a cave toad named Matilda? And there is like a lot of like, whoa. Like, just like, people are really into it. I don't need to go through all his little tricks that he's doing. He steals secrets from you like a couple times to like read your mind. And then he, you know, thanks you profusely for coming up. And, pats you on the back and says, "Ladies and gentlemen, a big round of applause for Z the artist." And everyone cheers for you as you step down um, into the crowd. And then he moves on to a couple of other cantrips, um, which impress people. As you're all standing there watching him, you hear a voice from behind you. Jenna? Is that you? You turn around and Aaron is standing there. And he's just as he always was, with that shit-eating smug expression on his face. He's well dressed and he has a few members of the
That's
delegation.
not fair. I definitely would have been watching for him.
You were watching
Oh.
Zerwin on
Yeah,
stage.
we were watching the magician.
Mm. Um, he has with him a couple members of the delegation, and you don't recognize either of them, but they do seem to have like insignia that indicates that they are from where you're from, um, of the Isles. And then there's a couple of um, women that are with them also who look like they're just you know like either sex workers or people that they've met recently. um, do,
Um,
do you turn around?
I'm gonna like look at him a little bit and just say, "Do I know you?" And turn away as fast as I can.
um, he laughs. I think you know me. We were married and had children together.
Is Ezra standing right there?
Yeah, you're all standing there.
Ezra's gonna step between the two of them and say, "Listen, I don't know who you think you see, but you have my friend Greta confused for somebody else, and I think you need to move along now."
Greta. Ah, I see. He like squints at you for a second, Ezra, and then he looks at Gelidus, and then he looks at Zerwin. Hmm. I see. My mistake, of course. Greta. Uh, and then he laughs that smug little laugh that he always had. And then he turns and says, "Well, have a good evening, Greta and friends." And he turns and walks away.
See you later.
Yeah, Ezra turns to Greta and says, or I'm sorry, Sala turns to Greta and says, yeah, he's even more of an asshat than I expected. Would you like to produce a blade and go do something about that?"
I wasn't gonna kill
Not
him,
right
but
now,
now
we're
I feel
working.
like I have to.
Yeah, we'll help if you want us to lure him in or.
Gelidus, can we trade hats?
If you do that, Gelidus will be dressed just as Gelidus, which means he's
Yeah, that would
really going to
go
stick out.
poorly.
Yeah.
Um,
Will I fit in Jana's dress?
It'll be too big
that's
for
a
you.
that's a personal question. Um,
Oh, at the same
Sala,
time? Yeah.
I thought that's what he was asking.
Rude.
No,
Um,
I would need something to wear.
Who's that guy?
Some
I
idiot.
was. We'll tell you later. Uh, Sala is gonna mosey on over to where Manius is.
Okay. Is the whole group going?
Yes.
All right. Uh, it's hard to get like too close to him. The crowd becomes more and more packed in and dense the sort of closer you come to his orbit. Um, But yeah,
Being a halfling has certain advantages therein.
Ezra has a much easier time of it, and if you want Ezra, you probably can leave your group behind if you want to get closer.
I'm okay with that.
All right.
Split the party.
Well, by 10 to 15 feet, anyways. Ezra, you can slip right up to the sort of dais itself if you'd like. The rest of you are sort of like a few feet off as people are all trying to like vie, if not for his attention, then the people around his attention. You see that um, there is a man in a white suit, who is leaning over, and Manius is occasionally whispering something in his ear, and he's like laughing, and then he like gestures, and like a servant comes running, and he'll say something, and they'll scurry off to grab something for him. That and it seems like all the hired help are paying attention, not actually to Manius, but to this man. Um, Manius is pretty much only looking at and talking to the very important wealthy people who he knows, and then occasionally um, you know groping or making out with one of the young women that's with him. He has a really
Um,
obnoxious laugh that I can't replicate.
Sala will mosey right up and say, Manius, if I may, Methuselah long pasture, you can call me Sala. This wine is excellent. I hear it's from the Twisted Vine.
Yeah, I only get the best wine for the parties, obviously.
You have to introduce me to your supplier. I'm from out of town. I need to get a local connection to be able to get this wine where I'm from.
I don't know what the fuck it's called. Hold on a second. Who are you?
Sala long pasture.
Oh, do I know you?
No, no. I'm something of an antiquarian myself.
A what?
Just breezed through town, happened to get an invite because of my own connections. Antiquarian, I deal in antiques.
Antiques?
Yes, old things,
Uh,
hand-me-downs, things of value.
Falio. Uh, Placus, get Falio. The man in the white suit says yes, and
Oh, that's
then
who we're supposed to avoid, right?
Manius turns away from you and like, starts ignoring you immediately.
Hmm. Okay, that didn't work.
Placus turns to you and says, Falio, he shits in the back. He knows where the wine comes from.
Oh, I'm not hoping to speak to the butler. I'm hoping to speak to the supplier
The
of
butler
the
knows who the
party.
supplier is.
And you don't? You planned the party. You don't know the supplier.
Who are you again?
Sala long pasture.
Someone invited an antique stealer to our party? Who did
Yes, well,
that?
I'm very well connected. Oh boy.
He looks around. You see anyone here that looks like they're interested in antiques?
Haven't you been sending people off to retrieve things for you?
Yeah, but antiques isn't on that list.
All right, I'll tell you what. I'm sorry to bother you. Enjoy your evening. I'll go see if I can find Falio.
You do that. Then he starts ignoring you also.
Sala mopes over to the group. Well, I'm out of ideas.
Struck out there, huh?
I did. I was hoping to have Keegan pointed out as the supplier.
You didn't use the butter, did you?
No. Well, I tried to use the kind of the verbal butter, the silver tongue of sorts. The charm is what they call it. And I did not have it tonight.
Gotta use Irwin's pickup lines. They work every time. I don't know why.
Who's Zerwin?
They're whispering to
My
each other.
friend.
So Placus mentioned that Falio would know who the supplier is. Obviously, that's not an ideal path talking to Falio.
Gellus can go talk to him. Doesn't look like Gelidus.
Who's Gelidus?
I don't remember your.
Robert Banks.
Bobby Bankston.
That's Gelidus. I point at Gelidus.
Who doesn't look anything like Gelidus?
Yeah,
In
but
fact,
I'm very
Zerwin,
proud. I'm very proud that I remembered that it was Gelidus because it took me so long to figure it out.
Right.
You need to let him know I know things.
So you want me to go find the other guy and go talk to, is it Phallus?
Falio, yeah.
Go with that.
Yeah, Valio the butler. You probably remember him from earlier today. We interacted with him at the front gate. He won't recognize you because you're a different person. There's a escalating risk of him recognizing some of the rest of us between Greta, uh, our two security staff, uh, um, Stanley, and then myself. So because you would be the one to try to talk to him. Go with the gods, as you always do.
Okay. Am I supposed to get any piece of information out of him?
We need to be introduced to the supplier. The method that I had used was to attempt to complement the quality of the wine and ask if we could be connected to the supplier from the local vineyard.
Okay. I can go talk to him. Is everybody coming with me, or are you all going to stay here and I'll find
We
you?
have to stay here.
He might recognize us.
Oh, that's right. Yes.
Oh boy, Owen really doesn't like this.
All right. Well then.
He's my security. Why doesn't he like it?
He's only pretending to be your security.
While he's doing that, is there an
Pretend
elevated?
better, damn it.
Is there a place that's a little bit more elevated other than the dais that Manius is on?
Well, there was the table the magician was on. He's stopped his, or the little stage that he was on. He's stopped his performance. Then there's the hanging band place. And then it looks like there's stairs that go up, and there's some people on a balcony.
I'm gonna go back on the table and climb up there and act like I dropped something. But what I'm actually doing is scanning the crowd to see if I see anyone who matches I don't remember, Geekus or Gletus or
Geegan?
Geegan match his description. So would that be perception or investigation?
It would probably be perception.
Okay. I rolled an 11.
No, I don't see anyone that looks like they fit the description.
Okay. I hop back down, bummed that I dropped my butter knife.
All right, Gelidus, you're gonna walk into the kitchens area.
Is that where he's going?
Yeah.
I'm like, Banks, get some butter.
Thumbs up.
It's very busy, as you might imagine. People walking in and out with trays, and there is like an officious, gray-haired gentleman, very clean cut, relatively nondescript, and he's clearly in charge. There's 1,000 people asking him things, and he has an answer for all of it. He also has like a sort of podium in which he's just reading things off, and go check on the jugglers, please, right now. He's just, Timmy, fill up those drinks. Robin, make sure you bring out more of those canapes. Like, he's just really in it.
Is that how you pronounce that word?
What?
Canapes?
It's canapes. Sorry, it's canapes. I screwed it up.
All right. I'll approach him.
He notices you because you stand out in here. I'm sorry, sir. The party's out there. Is there a problem?
Oh, no problem. I was sent, I had asked, and I was pointed in your direction as I would like to be introduced to the supplier of the wine for tonight, if at
Oh,
all possible.
yeah, the Twisted Vine. I
Yes.
I believe they have 2 representatives here this evening, actually.
Oh, would you be able to point them out to me? When
Uh,
you have a moment, of course.
um, sure. Um, wait right here, please, sir. And he turns and says, he grabs another man that's standing nearby and says, I need you to go find me Gigan and Secundus now, please. Would you like to wait in the other room and we'll come find you, or what's best for you?
Um, it might be hard for them to find me in the other room with everything going on. So I can either wait here or I could wait towards the entrance of the area here.
Of course. And he snaps his fingers and someone runs up and he grabs a glass of red and hands it to you.
Oh, thank you.
Absolutely.
Oh, I had one other question. A friend of mine has a very distinct taste. Do you happen to have any snacking butter?
Sna- yeah, sure. Marion, uh, go get me. How much?
Just a stick.
A stick of butter, please.
A snacking butter.
Stick of. What's? I'm sorry, sir. I'm not familiar with the term snacking butter.
Well, you have your standard butter that you just put on toast. Snacking butter is what you eat without toast.
Yes. Marion's snacking butter. And Marion's like, the look on her face is like sheer terror, and and then she turns and like walks down into the kitchen proper. What the fuck is Marion gonna do? Hold on.
I feel bad because I'm like, she just doesn't matter what she gets. I want to go comfort her.
Uh, okay, out in the other room, um, team, while this is happening, uh, you notice that the delegation from the Moon Isles, including the infamous Aaron, has made their way to Manius's half circle couch, and Manius seems to be engaged in some sort of conversation with them. Um, you can't make out what they're saying from where you are. Um, and the mud wrestling has ended entirely, and that like stage has been brought down, and then a sort of clean stage has arisen, and the band has been lifted up, and the chain moved over, and the band is slowly falling off, and the music has temporarily stopped. It's going to be a few minutes, Geldis, for them to find these people.
No problem. I'll wait.
As
Is he in the door or like is he still technically in the kitchen?
he's still technically, he didn't say he was leaving, so he's still technically in the kitchen's area. You can see him as the doors swing open and swing close, which is every couple of seconds. So if you want to keep an eye on him, you can. Owen is insisting that he keep an eye on him. Um, and right, sorry. So the second stage rises, and now, like there's like a slow hush falls over the crowd as there is one man alone on the stage, and he's wearing a hooded cloak that hangs low, and all you can see is the bottom of his mouth. And he, that everyone sort of gets quiet, and then someone walks out from the side and says, "Ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention, please? In front of us, we have one of the most marvelous, the most remarkable, the most incredible men in the entire universe. This man here, this man who stands in front of you like any other man would, has power beyond reckoning. He has an ability to do things I've never seen before." So the showman, the person who's actually talking to the crowd, hops up on the stage and starts walking around this man in the cloak. "Ladies and gentlemen, this show is not for the faint of heart. If you are squeamish, or if you are in some way shy at the sight of violence or blood, you should turn away or leave the room entirely. There are plenty of other things happening outside. And of course, as soon as he says that, everyone starts like gathering in tighter and like, no one wants to miss whatever's about to happen. There are things in this world that are so strange and so mysterious that we will never understand them, no matter how much we investigate, no matter how much magics we pour in. They will always be just beyond our reach. And he reaches out and he yanks the cloak off this guy, and he's just a mass of scars everywhere, and there's no hair anywhere on his body. Some of them are burn scars, some of them are stab scars, or you can't make out what all the scars are. There's so many of them, but they're just everywhere, all over him. Gelidus, there is a servant comes up to you and says, "I have located Gigan. Would you like me to take you to him?"
Yes, thank you.
Oh, right this way. And leads you actually not back out into the main room, but out one of the side doors.
Okay, I follow.
I knew you would. You suddenly, as you're all watching what's happening on the main stage, Owen is like, he's gone. He's fucking gone. And he like points to the door, and as it swings open, there's no more Gelidus. Gelidus, you're led outside of the main, like behind the big building, and it looks like you're being taken to one of the other buildings. The rest of you are watching this guy. He's muscular. He's a human, or appears to be human. He looks like he is a 6 foot, 250 pounds ish. And the showman, what I'm about to show you, ladies and gentlemen, should not be attempted anywhere else by anyone else. And he reaches into his own cloak and says, "But I have something here which will demonstrate the tiniest iota of this man's power." And he's reaching around like in his cloak, like kind of mysteriously. Everyone's like trying to see what it is, and they can't see what it is. And then with a movement almost too fast to follow, he like whips out this like curved blade and slices it across this man's chest with a deep gouge, like muscle hangs and skin hangs. And the crowd just like gasps, and like some people scream out loud, and the man with all the scars hisses like, and then like as you watch, it slowly starts to mend. And then like some woman like faints in the background, and people are just like, "Oh my fuck God, did you see that? It's incredible." The crowd is really rapt. Gelidus, you're led across to one of the other buildings where it looks like just servants are going in and out. And they're not. These people aren't carrying trays. They're carrying like crates of things to carry over to the kitchen. So it looks like a storehouse. Inside there is a tall, thin man, which the servant says, "That's him over there," and he is currently arguing with someone else about going to inspect the wine kegs. "They're from my brewery, or my vineyard. Someone was here already today and removed 2 of them, saying that there was something wrong. And you are there when you see the look on his face when he realizes what's happened. And he is not pleased." "What did they look like, these people?" Well, there was a purple-haired short gentleman, and there was a very large, good-looking man. They had a woman with them, and I don't know, a child maybe, or a couple of kids, or like teenagers. Hard to say. I don't really get that close to look at them, but there's definitely one of the kegs was carried by the tall, good-looking guy, and the other keg was carried by I think it's a dwarf. Does that make sense? But it's too tall to be a dwarf. But anyway, and they just like picked him up and carried him out and said that you'd bring more. Did you bring more? No, I did not bring more. Those people do not work for me. Um, and he waves his hand, and you're go away. And then he turns and paces back and forth a couple times while sort of stroking his chin. The servant who came with you, by the way, Gildas, left after they pointed out. And then he notices you, who stands out, and he looks up. May I help you, sir?
Yes, my name is Rob Banks. I was coming here to speak to you about perhaps some distribution rights for your wine.
Of course, yes. Twisted Vineyard is happy to ship anywhere that the trading lanes will take it. How much would you like to buy, and where would you like it shipped to?
I have a much bigger proposition for you.
Okay.
How would you like to expand your vineyards outside of this realm?
I'm interested. I don't control the vineyards. I only do shipping. But I'm listening.
So I have a whole untapped market that I'd like to have your wine shipped to.
Okay.
So what if I told you? I guess what do you have available?
Well, um, we have a Cabernet, we have a Pinot Noir, we have a Chardonnay. What are you looking for?
I think I'm looking for a little bit of everything that you've got.
Certainly. How would this work exactly?
Well, I have the connections, and so I could set you up with those connections so that you could uh, we could almost act as another distributor, right? Where you would provide the wine to me, and I will provide it to the new markets that have never tasted it before.
What's your cut?
What do you think would be fair?
Clever. What do I think would be fair? Pro bono. Do it as a favor. What do you think would be fair?
You know, to get your good graces, I will do it pro bono.
You'll distribute our wines for free.
This is a long term investment, my friend.
What's your angle?
So I will work with I will make my money on the other end, working with the various bars that are purchasing your wine.
You'll need to speak with Secundus, my boss.
Okay. Is he here tonight?
Yes. I'm not sure where exactly. Um, he's um, if I had to guess, I'd say he's back at the party. He's wearing a yellow scarf, um, darkish yellow, almost towards orange, and on top of his suit, and that's how you'll know him.
Does he have long hair, short hair?
Short hair.
All right. So I should approach Secundus and say that we've spoken before.
Yes, tell him you spoke with me, and I said that you know, I thought that he should speak with you about it.
Fair enough. I will go and speak with Secundus, and I will hopefully we'll have a meeting of the minds and strike a deal.
Very good. Good luck.
Thank you.
He
And I'll head back, I guess.
yeah. All right, back in the other room. You're watching this man. The showman is basically torturing him.
Can I try to look carefully to see if he's actually cutting him or if this is some sort of illusion?
Sure. Perception.
Can I
7.
do
I'm
it
rolling.
with Arcana?
I am rolling hot right now.
Can't tell.
I'm gonna do it before Arcana.
An Arcana check?
16. If you want it to be perception, then it's
No,
a
Arcana.
16.
No, it's an Arcana roll because that's what you said. 16. You're not sure. Like there are creatures that can regenerate at this speed. In fact, there are several creatures that can regenerate this speed.
We've probably fought things that could regenerate at this speed at some point.
Probably, yeah. How they made it look like a human, you don't know. Is it like
I mean, does he really look human, or does he look kind of like humanoid?
No, he looks like a man.
Can I look really closely to see if I can find a tattoo?
Yes.
Is this perception again, or do you want something else?
That will be perception again, yeah.
Oh, great. One less. I got rolled a 6.
Yeah, he can't tell.
Okay.
Can I help? I would like to help Zerwin do that.
Okay.
What are you gonna do? Just put your hands like this in front of my eyes, like fake binoculars? That's how I'm picturing you helping me.
Would that be helpful?
Look at a man. Oh, sweet. Rolled a 7.
Nice. Yeah.
See, it did help.
It did help. Thank you. Nothing. All right. Does it smell of loam in here? Probably not.
There's
Probably
a
shitload
lot of
perfume.
people around, yeah. It's
Efficient at this point. All right. Proceed. I grab another drink when the tray comes by.
Yeah, so basically he tortures this guy. He stabs him, he slices him, he bashes him, he burns him. And he stops every time and he's like, lest you think I am healing him or someone else is, you'll see that no one is touching him here. And that I am using no magics. He there's always a little pause after he injures this man. And the man does, make noise when he gets hurt. But it gets like increasingly violent and grotesque until finally the man reaches down and pulls out a long sword and jams it straight through the guy's chest. And the guy like falls over on the ground, like backwards. And like you can hear him like, and everyone just like, there's dead silence. And then the showman turns and looks at the crowd and says, what kind of man could survive his heart being pierced by a sword? None. None. Except this one. And right on cue, the man sits up behind him and like gasps and like pulls the sword out of his chest slowly and drops it on the ground. And like people just go bonkers. Like the place erupts. You notice that Manius has stood up on his couch and is like cheering, screaming, "Yeah, fucking stab him!" And with that, the man bows and says, you can't really make out what he says, but some sort of thanks to the crowd as the stage slowly lowers and they disappear, and everyone in the crowd cheers for a good solid minute afterwards, and then the normal noise of the party starts and the music starts in the background again. And then Gelidus. You see Gelidus walk into the room.
Gallus walks up to the group. Hey guys,
How'd it go,
nothing to worry
Robert?
about.
Gildus, you just missed some wild shit.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah,
this
that guy
just
killed that other guy, but then he got back up.
was wild.
well, that's pretty impressive.
The guy was healing in real time.
Ezra looks at Greta's necklace. Is it glowing?
They're under the stage.
Yeah, no, it's not. Not
Okay,
right
just checking.
now.
I mean, it sucks to be that guy though. I'm sure it still hurts.
Well, I mean, he got back up,
I got
so
better.
he had to
I was
endure a lot of pain probably, but he
I was
got
going to
back
ask
up.
why he was even doing it. I don't get it.
No, yeah, it was a very strange show for sure. Wonder if
Maybe
it's
he's
some
under
sort of extended
control.
metaphor for something else.
Gelidus, did you find that guy?
I did. I spoke to him. Oh. He pulls a little wrapped, parchment paper thing out of his pocket. I got this for you, Zerwin. And he hands me snacking butter.
Perfect.
It's
Put it in my pockets. What kind of butter is it?
it's like extra salted butter. It's like wrapped in sea salt. They were
Right.
like, she ran back. She rolled pretty well. She ran back to the kitchens and said, "I need snacking butter." And the cooks were like, "What the fuck are you talking about?" And she's like, "There's a rich dude out there who wants snacking butter." And they're like, "What's snacking butter?" And then someone was like, "Just roll a stick of butter and salt and then wrap it in paper." And they're like, "Genius!" And so that's what they did.
It's a good move.
But yes, Secundus, he's here somewhere in the party. We're supposed to look for short hair and a yellow sash or yellow scarf.
Who is this guy?
He's the boss as far as the wine merchants are concerned.
Do you know where the other guy is, and is he likely to stay there? Because we have to kill that guy because he's bad. He's a thing.
Did Geegan seem to be in good spirits?
No. He was. They're going to be looking for you guys specifically.
Why us?
Well, he mentioned a purple-haired dwarf, some
Yeah,
teenagers.
I'll be fine. I've got all these tattoos.
Should have thought to dye your hair.
It is dyed purple.
Your natural hair color isn't purple.
I don't know. I'm just kidding. I don't know if it is or not.
You
It
should have
is.
re-dyed, or possibly dyed for the first time, your hair. We'll never know. All right. So we need Stanley to go into hiding. Were the rest of us characterized?
I'm going to put my hair up and put on my fancy farmer's hat that we got from the first realm we ever went to.
I remember those hats.
I
Yes,
still
sir.
have it in my inventory. So,
You're adopting a Vincent Van Gogh look right now.
well, I'm an artist and I'm trying to hide my
Yeah.
hair. So that guy's looking
Yeah.
for me.
I'm backing you up. Trying to validate you. I'm here to pump Zerwin up.
Dirk
Sorry,
says,
Stanley.
"That's great,
I'm
but
to-
I'm gonna be hard to hide. I'm literally the only dragonborn in this city, I think."
Was a dragonborn mentioned? Bobby?
I don't think so. Mentioned a woman. That's about the only description I got.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, we need to find Geegan and figure out a way to kind of get him away from the party so that we can interrogate him or get him out of here. Probably interrogate first to make sure he's not going to get up to any more funny business, and then get him out of here in one piece.
This whole time, I'm keeping an eye on the Moonshade delegation.
Okay.
I just want to be really clear.
You've actually lost them momentarily, but if you just take a minute to look around, you can try to locate them again.
I want to find them again.
Okay. Roll me a perception check.
$24.
They are not in here.
Right. Well, how can we get Gigan separated from Bobby?
Well, he's not in here.
Yeah, where did you find him?
I'm planning, and then we'll find him and execute the plan. So
Execute him.
Bobby, what was the, did you make any arrangements with him? Did you, what did you talk about?
Well, so he told me to go talk to a secondess because I said I would be willing to buy and distribute the wine. So,
Garlis, you want to
we
make
could,
me a perception check?
sure. 19.
You see a guy with a yellow scarf.
Oh, there he is. There he is.
I wonder if we could get Gigan to show us the casks in the basement. Like if we said, we need to make sure that the materials that you're using for your barrels are up to snuff because we're going to be transporting them long distance.
Not with you guys.
Well, I mean, if I would never move barrels, look at me.
Right. Well, no, I
I'm
mean,
not dressed for it.
he's looking for you guys. He knows about the fact that 2 barrels are missing
Okay.
and that the people that took them don't work for him.
Well, anyone else have any bright ideas? What are we going to talk? Like, do we want to talk to Segundas? Is there a reason?
Well, if he's there, we don't know why they want to frame Manius. We need to talk to both of them, probably. But we don't know if
We don't know if Segundas is involved. Like, we could
we know
probably assume.
he's Gigan's boss, but we don't know if it's his evil overlord boss or just his boss.
Greta, how's that necklace looking? Are we close enough that it's glowing yet?
What if we pull a little honeypot here, guys? We have Gelidus go back out and tell Gigan that he spotted us at the party, and then we set up a trap wherever we want to be waiting.
Stanley, we could. The impression I got was that you're going to be the most recognizable of all of us right now.
But I
Although
don't.
that hat is
No, I'm
cheap.
saying we go somewhere where we aren't going to be seen, and then we send Gelidus back to Gigan and say, "Hey, I found them. Follow me," and
We
then
could
we can
also, yeah,
ambush him.
yeah, we could also just have you make a scene about how you're going down to the cellars or wherever, and
I
if
would
he sees you doing that, then he'll follow you.
prefer not to do that because we don't want. I don't think we want to. Why are we using aliases if we don't want to be somewhat circumspect?
I don't know what that word means. I don't love that it starts with circum.
Because I don't. If we create a scene, we're gonna have guards. We're gonna have. It's gonna be
Listen,
harder to.
frankly, I'm upset that you know a word that I don't know. And I'm gonna be quite cross for the rest of the evening.
Hopefully, I'm using it wrong.
It's fair.
Where should we hold up and ready an ambush?
The man with the yellow scarf has walked. He's not walking towards you, but he's walked close by now. If Gelidus, you're tracking him.
He's over there now.
We should
Yeah, we
either
see
do it.
him. Yellow sash, very visible.
How do we get out of here, guys?
Is my necklace glowing now that that guy's close?
Yes.
So we need
Oh,
to
and is
get
that dude
both.
bad?
Which dude?
The one with the yellow scar.
Oh yeah, he's a shitbag.
Is that what we're
Okay.
calling him now?
We're going to end there. Actually, right in this beautiful moment of being in a crowded room full of people that you really want to be surrounded by, with a demon nearby. All right.
This is old hat at this point.
Yeah, that's true. Good job tonight, y'all. You should give each other danger awesome points.
I'm gonna give mine to Gelidus for coming up with Rob Banks.
I'm gonna give mine to Jana for
Hey,
not
crowd.
murdering her husband.
No, but she's in a murdering mood. She really wants to murder Geegan.
Yeah, she keeps asking to put her sword in things.
Who is the crowd voting for to get the danger awesome point?
I'm gonna give mine to Zerwin. He had some good ideas tonight.
You can't give danger awesome points to
And I'll give
Butter.
mine to Jana as well for not immediately murdering her ex-husband, because I would have done it. You're stronger willed than I am.
You don't even know anything about him, just that he's a jerk.
He was smug. He should die.
You know how many smug NPCs I can make?
You know how many smug
Billions.
NPCs I can kill?
It's gonna be a weird game from here on out. Ezra, did you give a danger awesome point yet?
Yeah, to Jana.
Yeah, you want me to get him another one?
No. I'm gonna give mine to Gelidus also. He had strong main character feelings tonight. And the crowd, it looks like also, well, Resident Old Lady would like to give a danger awesome point to snacking Butter. The Butter doesn't actually need the danger awesome points, so
I'd give that one to Gelidus too.
yeah, that one's gonna go to Gelidus also.
A good idea. Snacking Butter.
He has very particular tastes.
To be fair, I look like a guy who'd eat butter, straight up, but it's too useful.
You just waste it in your mouth all the time. All right, everybody. We did say we're going to end every other week early, so we're, here we are, half an hour, 45 minutes earlier, so we're going to end right now. Next week, a reckoning. You'll have to figure out how you want to resolve this situation and move on. But for now, good night, everybody. Thanks for tuning in.
Thanks
for
for being a
watching.
part of our little merry band.
Yay.